That's what I like to do. That's a little better. All right, well, first of all, I'd like to start off with my name, but before I do that, I want this to be a day that's not just me speaking, but that's the people's movement. I ask everyone in support who does not have a sign, and we have 10 signs right here. Come and stand behind me. This is not just my movement, this is our movement. Please join us in getting some signs and coming behind us and standing. Now come on, don't be shy now. All right. Yes, assemble. Let's try to maintain physical distancing. Over here in the back. Come on over here. Don't be shy now. Don't be shy now. And if you have a sign, you're more than free to assemble. Come on, like I said, this is our movement.
Okay, but we need y'all to speak up more. This is ridiculous.
Definitely y'all too.
Okay, y'all can't be real.
I'm not speaking. So you mean telling me I can walk in a motherfucking store and walk out this bitch and not know if I'm gonna get shot? And y'all out here like this on us? Come on, black man. Come on, black man. Come on. Ain't you tired? Ain't you tired, black man?
They can't
Come
quit.
on, man.
They can't quit for that.
A black man was shot in his neck.
They came 2 hours late.
Come on, black man. Get the fuck out of here. A whole black man was shot. Little white motherfucker. I didn't even know it was a black man that got shot. We got every goddamn right to be mad.
Okay. So you yeah. So Mr. Jackson, where was you at yesterday?
We don't want
Why did it take you? Why did it don't matter? It don't matter. Okay. So why didn't they come fast enough? Okay. So how did you address it today? How did you address it today? So that way y'all can respond to shit like it's a lot faster. Okay. I don't care about the billboard. Okay. You can walk here. So why the fuck didn't y'all walk here yesterday?
I was at that playing my unit.
It don't matter. You are here today. So how can you address your unit and come faster? How can you address? Okay, we politicking on facts. I'm speaking on your facts. I'm speaking on your facts. You are the leader of this unit.
In East Los Angeles last week, in August 29, there was a commemoration, the Chicano moratorium that was held in August 29th in 1970. These demonstrations took place at a time where they were protesting the anti-Vietnam conflict. The protesters were protesting at high numbers the drafting of Chicano and black soldiers into the force. We were dying at disproportionate numbers as well as low-income white people. That is problematic. We are not to fight other people's wars. When we, in search of freedom in foreign lands, when we do not have freedom here at home. I also want to say, in the events of that demonstration that are often hidden in history, the sheriff's department brutally beat and suppressed that movement, women, children, and students. This echoes and mirrors the same struggles as our black brothers and sisters who have went through this exact same thing. We are both black, brown, placed into special education and labeled troublesome, and will wind up going to jail or be gangsters or cholos. We are placed into an incarceration system that denies our basic human rights. Many of us on the basis of race, we cannot continue to accept that. We need a citizen's oversight that is community-based on police and immigration authorities. These same architects of the state, these tools of enforcement are breaking up our families apart in high volumes. Not just black and brown folks, people of all racial spectrum. We must be awake and aware to these issues. They say racism doesn't exist in this county. Y'all tell me about it. I was born and raised here. My birth certificate, not that it matters, is just a couple down the block. So for those that want to say, go back to Mexico, or say, are we even from here? You damn right I'm from here. We are all from here. Also, I want to add, the racism in this county is unique in its form, but also common throughout this nation. We hear things as Mexicans, as blacks, we hear things like speak English right. We hear, as an elementary student, I have heard this, I've heard, go back to Mexico. I've heard countless times when I say I have no criminal record, they say, are you sure you don't have a criminal record? Any petty theft, any robbery, any probation, anybody in your household? These questions, they come from a place of intent, and we must be awake and aware. Critical eye is key in this time. Also, let's not come with half-truths, for that is for the serpents. Just yesterday, my Cuesta College Board attempted to pass a resolution that striked out in its name Black Americans and had failed to mention Latinos in its language. Also, they moved on a resolution that would strike systematic racism regardless of what the chancellor of the community colleges, Chancellor Ortiz, his demands and his call to action. A lot of our Black and brown, Asian and Native students are part of the community college system, and I urge our university brothers and sisters in higher education to take us into account, for we form part of the higher education systems. It's time that we bring on our cousins, our friends, our high school friends that are still back home or are here now, and get them involved in this movement, because we as community college students are just that, students involved in this struggle together with our older allies. Look at this beauty back here. I cannot feel more happy to see this today than any other day. I'd like to continue on with this. This should tell us about these resolutions wanting to be passed, that our county has structural issues with racism, and they look like what I've mentioned. Do not try to over-explain it. It's plain and simple. Let's come to a public dialogue table and start the healing process. But you want to know what? It will be painful and rocky, but it's possible, and we can make it happen. I want to say to those young students, educators, members of our community that are involved in this movement, that they funnel that passion, that anger, that sadness, that feeling of social justice, to funnel that passion into making and creating and revamping our ethnic studies departments across the nation, in both community colleges, in both universities, and in our high schools. K through 12, our children must hear our story, not from one history book, but all the history books that represent the reality of this country and this region, and California in particular. We are to set an example for the state. I want to continue on that we in this ethnic studies struggle fight need the support of our white allies, of allies of different economic classes that range from the middle class to the working class to peoples of higher power to come with us in this people's movement. I want to go ahead and quote Melina Abdullah, professor and doctor from CSU Los Angeles, who is an activist in the Ethnic Studies Now Coalition, said, let me get this ready, hold on, y'all, because y'all's got to hear this, because she's incredible. Ethnic studies is the most enduring victory of the Black Power movement. And you want to know what? I want to make a quote of my own right now, because this just gave me some ideas right now. Ethnic studies is the most enduring blueprint of the Black Power, Brown Power, and lower economic social status of our people today. That is what is ethnic studies today. Help us in that movement. I urge all civil rights groups such as LULAC and the NAACP and other advocacy organizations locally to build a multi-group coalition to come together in all of this. In this time, we should familiarize ourselves with our civil rights and initiatives. And make no mistake, let's be actual allies. I want to say this. Today, I think something troubles us in our mind today. That troubled mind coming here, pulling into the parking lot, I thought, wow, Tiana, we are really having to hashtag free Tiana and Elias Bautista. Make no mistake, if these two young people, these two activists are charged, they are and will become political prisoners in the state of California that prides itself on liberty and freedom of speech that is problematic. It's a time where we must engage, even in a time where parties might or might not have good faith. We must come to the negotiating table. I also like to end off with a quote from a Puerto Rican rap artist and singer, Brantiago. He states, "Racism limits development and social evolution. That is why as an artist, I have a responsibility not to contribute to racial divisions. And we are a generation of struggle that must not allow the abuse of power and retrograde ideologies that go against our human rights." Thank you today. As a machista, as a Cuesta College student, thank you, each and every one here today. Thank you, y'all that carry the sign. Remember this day. We are a people's movement. You are a people's movement. We are all a people's movement. Thank you.
Fuck these racist ass police. Public safety buildings.
Across the world, and y'all tactics don't even match the tactics around the other world, around the world. Why are there so many of you? Y'all operate like a fucking army.
That's what I'm talking about. They come out here but couldn't stop a man from getting shot.
Nationwide. You know, nationwide, they looking to see what's about to happen in the movie.
Yeah, I told y'all.
Hear your crew. Say his name. Hear your crew. Say his name. Hear your crew. Hear your crew. Say his name. Hear your crew. Hear your crew. Hear your crew. Hear your crew.
Now they're here to be enjoyed.
soloist? Anybody? Love that snare. Clap your hands, everybody. Don't stop dancing.